Okay, today we're going to model this table using AutoCAD. And to start off with, we're going to grab a architectural B-size title block. And we'll grab this one, this is inches. We'll open that DWT file. And so here's our B-size title block. We're going to go to Model Space, and we're going to enable our toolbar, menu bar. And I'm going to implement a grid and a snap. And so I'll put the snap on and the grid on, and I'll put the snap on at, we'll just go with 1 inch and a grid of 6 inches. We'll enable polar tracking at 15 degrees, and we'll leave object snap and object tracking enabled with the defaults. I'm going to go switch over to a furniture layer, and as we look at the model here, what we're going to do is we'll model it from the bottom up, and some of the dimensions are missing, but I'm going to figure this is 2 inches, excuse me, 4 inches by 4 inches, and this will be 2 inches. And so we'll start by modeling the bottom with this shape here. So we'll start off with the line, put on our line weights. We'll bring that out 2 feet 6 inches. And we'll go up 4 inches. And we'll go back. And then I'm going to offset that 2 inches. And 4 inches. We'll trim. And then we'll take that shape and we'll press pull it. I'll make a 3D layer. I'll make it slightly off in color. I'll make that current. And then I'll press pull this. Now, depending on how you like to work with the interface, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll put on a toolbar for modeling. And then I don't have to switch back and forth to the modeling workspace. And I'm going to grab press pull, hover, acquire, and we're going to make that 4 inches. We'll 3D rotate that. Put the gizmo right here. We'll rotate it about the x-axis, the red axis. Start off by driving a line north, and then bring this one down 90 degrees. If you have trouble with that, you can always turn on ortho and it'll come out perfect. And then we'll copy this, rotate it, move it, and union it. So that's the base of our table, and then we have a disc, and we're going to make that 1 inch, and we'll make that a radius. Let's make that 10 inches. And you can come up with whatever dimensions you like. It's an artistic piece, but it's definitely bigger than the diameter of the table, of the pole that's holding up the table. So we'll make it 12 inches. So we can make a center diameter. It doesn't have to be on there. We can just make that 12 inches. And then we'll extrude that 1 inch. You don't need to press pull it, because extrude, it's already a closed boundary shape. I'm going to make this move in wireframe so I can make sure that I get the bottom of the geometry. See how you have a top and a bottom, and then we're going to see if we can gravitate that over here. Doesn't seem to be happy with the snapping. It looks like it. Let's take a look at the top view. Yeah. We can move this off of the ghost image. And we can keep our sketches. You can put those on a layer that's turned off, or just move it far enough away that it doesn't interfere. And then what we'll do is we'll make the cylinder, and that cylinder is going to go, and we're going to need to subtract off the height of the legs, which is 4 inches. So we'll say 2 feet 2 inches from the top of the legs, 2 feet 1 inch from the top of the disc to the top of the table. And we can make the table, let's just make this 2 feet. So we're going to use a solid primitive of a cylinder here. Here will be the center. We have our 3D snaps on, and we'll make that a radius of 4, and then a height of 2 feet. And then we'll model the top of the table, which is 4 feet 6 by 3 inches. And so we can do that with the rectangle command. Give it a starting point. Give it the dimensions. And so it's asking us for the length dimension, and so we'll say 4 feet 6. And it's asking us for the width, which we'll say is 3 feet. Have to hit enter afterwards to place it, and click with the mouse. And then we'll extrude that. Let's make it a big heavy table. Let's make it 2 inches. And then I'm not sure if we'll be able to get an O-snap in the center, but we'll try. Let's see if we can move this. No. So we'll make a construction line across the bottom of it from this endpoint. Sometimes you have to enable the shift right mouse click. And you really only need one. You could make two, kind of X marks the spot, but you only need one. And we'll move it from the intersection. It's grabbing midpoint, but you can always override it to intersection and then to the center. We'll erase our construction lines. Take a look at it. You can look at that in X-ray. Shift middle mouse wheel. Looks good. I'm going to get rid of this sketch. And then we'll union this together, because right now all the components are just placed there except for the feet on the bottom. And so it's not one continuous piece. And so we'll have to union that so that everything is fused together. There we go. And then if we go to a conceptual, we'll go to our title block and we'll just put a isometric model of that in place. And I think I'll just leave it at scale to fit. We'll leave it as a conceptual material type. I'll lock the viewport. Be sure to fill in the student name, title block. Project will be Lab 3A. And then add the date. Scale would be none. This is what's called an attribute. And we'll save the file. I'm just going to put it in my downloads for right now. And that completes how to model this table for CAD 118 Advanced AutoCAD.